Everyone tells you just to keep practicing alternate picking, but almost no one explains this part. It's subtle, but once you understand it, you'll feel control you never had before. I never heard anyone break it down clearly, so that's exactly what I'm going to do here. One of the adjustments we need to make is understanding how speed picking licks are actually used. A lot of times we hear these fast passages and we can't figure out how they are being played. They sound so fast and precise that they seem impossible. But they are not impossible. They are usually patterns pre-written, practiced that way, and just connected in a clean way. Let me show you exactly what I mean. C pattern 1, second pattern, same pattern. So, sometimes it's the same pattern repeated, like this. You see, we are repeating the same pattern. Other times it's 2 or 3 different ones chained together. So in this one we have 3 patterns. This first one, only 3 notes, then 6 notes, then 6 notes, and then this one. Each of these patterns requires its own fingering, and sometimes you have to change fingerings on the fly in order to play these lines at speed. Sometimes you also have to break a strict alternate picking pattern and include some economy picking or sweep picking, and some of these lines include several of these techniques adjustments. But once you know how to do it, it's a great starting point. This lick from Steve Vai is a perfect example. It's from Big Trouble of Eat 'em and Smile by David Lee Roth, and it's built exactly like this, a few fast picking shapes locked together to create one long run. So we have 4 different picking patterns in this lick. The first one, the second one, and the third one, and the fourth one. I'm not saying this stuff is easy to play. What I want you to do is to demystify it. Now you know that a well-connected group of picking patterns can create something that sounds way more complex than it really is. But there's one thing that makes these patterns actually flow into each other, and most players miss it. That's what we will look at next. Fast playing isn't necessarily built at full speed, it's built when you fix the stuff that only shows up at 60 BPM. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Now, in order to create these long picking licks, we have to be able to connect the patterns. And there are many ways to do this, but for me, the most powerful is the slide technique. Let me show you a classic Paul Gilbert exercise. See, he slides at the end of the pattern, flowing into the next one. Here's a variation on that same idea. There's a classic Ingve lick that uses this same technique, but he plays all the patterns on a single string, like this. The slides are as important as the picking itself. They are what allow the patterns to connect and flow into each other. The way Ingve uses them is just genius. Now let's go even deeper with this idea. Try this. So what this really shows is that speed isn't just about your picking hand, it's about how you connect ideas, and slides, when they are used the right way, let your hand move through these patterns without tension, without resetting, and without breaking the flow. Once you get that down, long runs stop feeling like a bunch of separate licks and start feeling like one continuous line. So now you got a way to build these long runs, but what about getting out of them? The next trick is all about how to end these lines and tie them into something musical without killing the momentum. If your picking gets messy when you speed up, it's not the tempo, it's that you never train it slow enough to begin with. Alright, if you made it this far, good, because this next part is where things usually get ignored. It's just not about playing faster, it's about knowing what your picking hand is doing every time, even when you're not thinking about it. So I'm going to show you a pattern that makes that obvious. You'll know right away if your hand's actually doing the work or if you've just been in autopilot hoping for the best. You have to find a way to end these crazy lines you're creating. So how do you do that? We have to find anchor notes, the notes where we finish our runs and connect them with other phrases or sections of the solo. A bend is a classic way to end one of these lines. Another possibility is a long vibrato on the final note of the line, or one close to it. And one of the most common options is to use a melodic phrase to soften the tension from the pick and run and create some musical balance. This is the part where people start overthinking. Forget that, just look into the picking motion and notice what your hand actually does under pressure. If you play an entire solo using only speed picking lines, it would get boring fast. This kind of ending approach helps you balance speed with melody and actually build a great solo. The final speed picking run in the solo For the Love of God by Steve Vai is probably the best example of this, and I am planning a video breaking down that run alone, so stay tuned for that one. This is where speed starts to sound like music because it's not just about how fast you get through the line, it's about what you do when you land. When you learn how to end these runs with intention, whether it's a bend, a melodic phrase, or just the right anchor note, you stop sounding like you're practicing and start sounding like you're actually saying something. So here's the full picture. Fast runs aren't random, they are built from patterns, repeated, connected, and shaped on purpose. Slides gives those pattern flow, and anchor notes, bends, and melodic lines give them somewhere to land. That's the difference between a round that sounds mechanical and one that actually feels musical. When you start thinking this way, patterns, connection, and release, you stop chasing speed and you start building phrases that actually hold up in a solo, and that's where control comes from. Not just from your hands, but from how you decide to create, connect, and end the line before you play it. All of this comes down to one thing. Your picking hand has to feel as predictable as your fretting hand. That's what these patterns are for. They are not just exercises. They show you if your hand's actually doing what you think or if it's reacting differently every time. The better you know how that motion feels, the less you'll need to think about it when you're actually playing. If you want to keep working on your picking technique, watch this next video. I'll see you there.